In the repair shop today...
Oh, lovely.
Will cracks the code to a box brought back from an overseas war assignment.
That slides that way, and that slides up, and that's usually where you tuck the key inside.
And a rescue operation on a 200-year-old fire bucket.
I'm a little worried. I'm a little bit terrified, actually.
Leaves Suzie feeling the heat.
I'm looking at this thinking, how am I going to do this?
But first, a tale of gold mining and a 9,000-mile journey. Paul Weeks, accompanied by his fiancée Angela, is hoping goldsmith Richard Talman can repair a small but very precious family heirloom.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello. I'm Jay.
I'm Angela.
Oh, Angela.
Pleased to meet you.
Hi, Jay. Paul. All right, Paul. So, what's in the love heart?
It's the gold ring. Unfortunately, as you can see, currently in two pieces. So basically, it's 170 years old. It was my great-great-grandfather's ring. He emigrated to Australia, age 20. He left Stonehouse, 1849.
1849. OK. Right.
Been married for 3 days.
Why did he go to Australia first?
Apparently to find his fortune.
Find his fortune?
We think as part of the Australian gold rush of the 1850s. So he then went prospecting, and the ring was made from the first nuggets that he found.
What was it?
If you look at it, it tells its own story. On one side, it has a shovel.
OK.
The other side has a pick, but the handle of the pickaxe is missing. He came back in 1862 and brought the ring back. So
With his missus?
Yeah.
OK, that's good.
So the ring was then passed down to his son, and then through to my grandmother, my mother, and then to me. So my mother passed it to me on my 18th birthday with strict instructions to look after it. And I put it on one day and thought, it didn't feel very tight. And it just broke on the shoulder into two.
Yeah.
So then I had the enviable task of explaining to my mum, and she was not happy. So I did promise her that I would get it repaired.
So how long has this been broken then?
It's 40 years.
40 years?
The last time it was on my finger, I was 18.
So if Richard's able to repair this, what are you going to do with it?
What I would like to do is to wear it on special occasions. So Angela and I plan to get married next year.
Yes.
So
Congratulations.
for my wedding day.
Yeah.
That sounds like that could be a special occasion.
Yes, exactly. So that would
Only
be great
waited
timing.
10 years for that.
Waited 10 years?
Yeah.
It's all right, the ring's waited 40 years.
40 years, exactly.
No pressure, Richard.
No pressure whatsoever.
No pressure at all.
But thank you for trusting us.
Can't thank you enough for bringing it in.
Thank you, Jay.
Thank you.
Much appreciated.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right.
It's in safe hands.
Okay, you take care now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hopefully he will be able to rejoin it and have it as it would have been and should be. And hopefully as good as it was when it was first made 170 years ago will be absolutely incredible.
Now, Rich, how are you going to repair something so delicate and beautiful as this, eh?
Well, I'm going to be gas soldering it using gold solder.
Solder, it's going to bring it together?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
So
what about all the detail on there? You're going to have to add some detail.
I am indeed, yes. So we're going to have the pickaxe handle has gone missing. I'm going to relay that back in.
You're going to have to make this bigger, though, haven't you? Because looking at Paul's fingers now compared to when he was 18, must be bigger.
Absolutely, yes. So what I'm going to have to do is expand it to what would now be his finger size.
It sounds like, for a little ring, it sounds quite a lot you're going to do. But this is going to mean the world to Paul.
Thanks very much.
Nice one, Rich.
Although ultimately Richard will be adding more gold to this ring to expand it, he must begin its restoration by soldering the two original halves back together in order to calculate how much he needs to enlarge it.
So I'm just going to start to ease this round to get the right shape and offering it up to each other. I'm going to be soldering it in a doming block. I'm using a propane flame, which I'm going to need to get the ring up to around about 1,000 degrees in order for the solder to melt. I'm happy with that. It's soldered and it hasn't fallen apart. So now it's time to get a true measurement of the finger size that it currently is, so I know how much metal to use to size it to Paul's finger size. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sizes. So the ring is currently a size S. When we measured Paul's finger earlier, he's a size Z. That's a fair old piece of metal I've got to put on it, which is going to make the diameter of the ring slightly larger. So I've got to hope that the structure of the ring is up to the increase of size which I'm about to subject it to.
Next into the repair shop, a beautiful memento of a wartime adventure. Emily Ray is hoping antiques restoration expert Will Kirk
Hi there.
can breathe new life into another precious family heirloom.
Nice to meet you too.
So, what have we got in the bubble wrap there?
So, in here, this is my granddad's jewellery box that he bought in Italy just after World War II.
That is lovely. Let me take that.
So my granddad was in the Royal Engineers in World War II.
Okay.
And he landed on D-Day Beach. And all we know that he was in Italy in around 1947, still in the Royal Engineers.
Right.
And that's where he bought this box.
How come you've got the box then?
So my nan's had it up in the loft for the last 30, 40 years.
Right.
And my nan, bless her, she's been on about getting it repaired for years now.
How did the box get into this condition?
So my mum was a bit mischievous when she was younger, and her and her brother definitely had some fun with it.
My gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, they really went to town.
Yeah, they did, yep.
One piece, nearly 2, 3 pieces here, and you're missing a piece there.
It's there. Okay.
I think. So there's a little lock there.
Have you got the key?
No.
But at the moment, I mean, it's not really locking anything at the moment, is it?
No.
So, what would you like Will to do to this then?
I've only ever seen it like this, so it'll be really nice to sort of get it back to how it was when my granddad bought it. So we feel like it's got a bit more life in it.
So, what type of man was your grandfather then?
Oh, he was amazing. He was a big family guy. He put everyone before himself. He was so generous and loving. We were like 2 peas in a pod. Used to follow him around. I was like his little shadow. And we used to do everything together. He was basically my father as well, because I grew up in a single parent family. My childhood is just full of so many lovely, happy memories, thanks to him.
That's nice. Yeah. So, if we're able to repair this,
Yeah.
what are you going to do with it after?
I'm going to give it back to my nan to use as a jewellery box.
Oh, right.
It hasn't been used since the 1960s, so it'll be really nice for my nan to have somewhere to store her jewellery.
Yeah, yeah.
And then eventually it'll pass down to me and we'll keep it in the family.
Okay.
I've got some nice little jewellery bits, like my lockets.
Like your locket? Okay.
Yeah, my granddad bought this for me just before my 18th birthday.
Oh.
He passed away just a few days before it. So I have a picture of him and my mum inside.
Can we see it?
Of course you can, yeah. There we go.
Oh, wow.
And my mum passed away 2 years ago.
Oh, did she?
So, yeah, so it's just me and my nan now.
You know.
So they go with me wherever I go. So,
That's nice. Emily, thank you for
No.
bringing this in.
Thank
Okay?
you very much.
You take care now.
I think the jewellery box has been something my nan's wanted repaired for years and years and years now, and I think as my nan's getting older, I'll be excited to get it done for her and, in honour of my granddad as well. I hope my nan thinks I'm, granddaughter of the year after this.
Will wastes no time getting to work.
Ah, lovely.
But as he begins to dismantle the little box,
Oh, we don't want you anymore.
it reveals something rather intriguing.
So I've worked in a couple of these before, and I know that the base has a secret compartment on the inside. Now that I've knocked it apart, it's actually freed up this sliding mechanism on the front. That slides that way, and that slides up, and that's usually where you tuck the key inside. I doubt that Emily knows that, so if I can glue this back properly, it'd be nice to have a key and give her a bit of a surprise. I'm putting some clamps on here that will help squeeze out any excess glue and hold everything in place whilst it dries.
While Will puts his assignment back together, goldsmith Richard is about to start breaking his apart.
Now that the ring is perfectly round, we can look to increase the finger size. And to do that, we've actually got to cut straight back in the position where I started again. You may think, well, that is pointless cutting where you've already cut, but unless it was all soldered solid, we wouldn't have been able to have found out the correct finger size. Just easing it. So I've now got this ring at a finger size Z, which has given me this gap here, about 8mm. You can't buy 22 carat in these bullion bars that we would buy, so I've had to use some fine grain here, and I need to melt that up. I'm pouring it onto a charcoal block here, and it's charcoal pretty much in the same way as would be used for a barbecue. As the gold melts up into its liquid point, it draws into a button, into a sphere. So at that point, it won't melt any further. And now we can start forming it with a hammer to get it into the shape we need. As you can see, 24 carat is so soft. Now I need to take this nugget of fine gold and make the cut-in piece to complete the circle.
So you're getting on, Rich?
Yeah, getting on well.
There's a massive gap in there, mate.
Well, the finger size was too small, so we need to now expand it to the same size as his finger is, as it is now.
Now you can do that.
Taking a piece of metal.
So that's going to go in there?
It will do.
How are you going to get that into there, then?
By using this. So you just adjust the gauge,
Right.
put it into the centre,
Okay.
and manually wind it, and it comes out the other side slightly thinner. You just keep repeating it.
So you're only adjusting by a really small amount.
0.1 of a millimetre.
So I could be here for a couple of days then, couldn't I?
Could be, unless you hurry up.
Now that is proper flat. That's all right, isn't it? So what else have you got to do with this then?
Just got to put a curve onto this piece of metal
Okay.
and solder it into the ring.
Right.
Then I've got to just replace the pickaxe handle.
Oh, so you've not got too much then?
A little bit more to go yet.
Okay.
I'll let you know when it's done.
All right, nice one. No problem.
So this doming punch, when used in conjunction with the swage block, almost forms a stamp when it's hit to make the piece of metal the correct curvature. There, now we have the correct curvature.
With the new piece of gold now made to measure, Richard adds gold solder to fuse it into place.
So when soldering pieces like this, it's important to make sure that the flame heats up both sides of metal in absolutely precise proportions. If it doesn't and one side gets hot too quick, the solder will leap over to that side and the bond won't be achieved. There we go. So now I've got to fix this very, very small piece of gold. Now it's less than 1 millimetre square to replicate the handle of the pickaxe.
Using a fine cutting burr, a tool also used in dentistry, Richard creates a tiny groove ready to house the gold filling.
Now, this is going to be a pretty nervous moment because it's the very last bit of heat I've got to apply to the ring. So I can see it's just about to go and the solder has filled. Just take that out and quench it. That was one of the last points that I was really concerned about. So now that I've got that out the way, I can relax a little bit whilst I finish it.
It's a horrible day out there.
Yeah,
Not good.
I know, but we
Well-
always need the rain.
Next, not letting the rain dampen her spirits, Mary Bird from Weymouth.
Oh, hold on. Let me give you a hand. There we go.
She's hoping leather expert Suzie Fletcher can repair an intriguing historical item with a very personal connection.
Hello, I'm Suzie.
Hi, I'm Mary.
Nice to meet you, Mary.
I'm Jay. All right, Mary?
Yeah.
So what have we got in the bag then? Let's have a look.
Got a very old leather fire bucket.
Why have you got a leather bucket?
It belongs to my husband, Mark. He was given it by his dad, John. His dad was a firefighter.
Okay.
And the stories that Mark's told me, there was a fire in a pub and his dad was given the bucket as a thank you.
Right.
You know, they were all given a bucket as a reward to say thank you for your help with the fire, thank you for what you've done.
Yeah.
And they were all like this, sort of broken and mouldy.
And mouldy.
And his dad obviously treasured it and then gave it to Mark. Mark always wanted to be a fireman. He would have liked to have been a fireman like his dad.
Yeah.
He couldn't get into the fire service because of his eyesight. So his dad passed away about 12 years ago. And he was really close to him and, you know, and it's one of the few things he's got that belonged to his dad.
How come Mark is not here then? What?
Because it's a surprise for Mark.
Hold
So
on.
Mark...
Whoa, rewind the tape. This is precious to Mark.
This is really precious to Mark.
Mark doesn't know this is out of the house.
He doesn't know. I've bought it here in secret.
You've put the pressure on with regards to... Yeah, I know, it's quite big. What would you like Suzie to do with the bucket then?
It would be nice if the handle worked and it looked like a bucket again.
OK, that would be nice. All right.
I think you could. I don't know about this bit inside.
Oh, is that part of the bit that's missing?
I think that's around the edge.
Okay,
yeah.
It's a little jigsaw.
Yeah, we love a jigsaw.
So what do you reckon, Suzie?
I'm a little worried because I've never worked on a bucket before. It is in really poor condition. I'm a little bit terrified, actually. I'm looking at this thinking, how am I going to do this? And it's so important.
It is so important.
Yeah, no, it is.
I will give it my best shot.
Thank you.
I'll at least try and improve on what we've got to work with.
Mary, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Mary.
Thanks, Suzie.
Okay, we'll be in touch.
Take care.
A little bit apprehensive. Suzie wasn't overly confident. I feel like I put quite a lot of pressure on her. But I'm confident that they'll be able to do something with it. Hopefully get it fixed to Mark. I just think it'll be really exciting to see his reaction.
This is a big job, yeah?
It's a huge job, and please stop touching it.
It's falling apart as well, look at this.
Yes, I know, see, that's what I mean. It is so fragile, it's beginning to crumble, and I'm not sure how I'm going to approach this. Things like this rim, if I was to put my all in there, I know this is just going to snap off. And she wants the handle reattached. I've got nothing to attach it to of any substance.
Wait
Again, all of this could just snap off.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I understand now. Let's get this over to your bench, then let me know if there's anything that I can help you with.
Okay.
But is it okay to take it, or do you want to take it?
Yeah, you can take it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Come on then.
What I've decided to do first with the bucket is remove the handle. I'm hoping I'll be able to keep the handle as complete as possible, but it is so fragile, it is really about to snap. As I start removing the threads, that could just completely fall apart.
Leather fire buckets like this one date back as far as the 18th century and were an essential piece of firefighting equipment. At the time, leather was more durable and lighter than any other material, and buckets were lined with tar to hold the water. They were marked to identify which house, church or parish hall they belonged to.
It'll be a little awkward to begin with. So I'm trying to just gently rock the scalpel back and forth to break the threads. There you go, there goes one. I don't want to be too aggressive here. Let's see if I've got that completely free. Please, that came off in one piece. I think I need to have a lie down now.
Will's being similarly tested rebuilding the wartime souvenir box, complete with secret compartment.
Now that the base is on and the sliding mechanism works, I need to replace these pieces that have fallen off here. So I've got some olive wood here. I'm going to recarve the missing piece. I don't really carve much olive wood, so I hope it's going to play ball. Oh, that's lovely, isn't it? Look. This carving gouge is so sharp, it just cuts through like a hot knife through butter. Actually smells like olives. That's lovely and smooth now. That should fit like a glove. Oh, look at that. I'm going to glue this and the other pieces onto the front of the box now. I'm going to be very careful when gluing it back that I don't get excess glue under the middle panel because it'll be stuck in place and you won't be able to get into the box. So I'm going to use some hot pile glue here. Wonderful. Just going to double check to make sure that middle one slides freely, and it does. Look at that. Lovely. Now it's down to the fun stuff, which is the finishing.
The box is decorated with a delicate painted design. But before he can touch in the faded detail on that, Will must get the surface back to its original condition.
Always good to start polishing from a nice clean surface. I'm going to use some furniture reviver here. I like to do a little spot test. So I'm going to clean up the bird a bit. And you can see how the stuff coming off from that cotton bud there is grey, and that means that that's dirt that it's removing. If it was brown and more like a varnishy wood kind of colour, that means that it's taking off the finish that I want to keep. So I'm satisfied that the cleaner that I'm using is just taking off the dirt, so I can now be a bit more liberal with my use. Look at that. As black as anything. So that's just people touching it, the collection of dirt and dust in the air, but it's coming off an absolute treat. You can already see that the blue in the birds really coming through and the blue in the water.
With the surface now clean, Will can begin work on accurately colour matching his replacement piece.
I'm mixing a tiny bit of brown pigment powder in with some polish, and I'm just going to slowly blend in the colour and make sure that it matches the surrounding book spines. One of the trickiest parts of this job is colour matching. So the chances of matching that colour perfectly the first time round is pretty rare. Lovely. Now that I've got the background colour right on this new piece of wood on the front of the box, I'm going to use a paintbrush and some black paint to paint back in that fine Roman numeral detail.
On the opposite side of the barn, Richard is on the final stages of restoring the ring that was hewn from gold nuggets.
What I need to do now is use some very fine grade wet and dry paper and a little mixture of water to make it even smoother still, and just go over all the intricate details of the ring, which will allow the polishing process to get it up to the highest possible shine. I think it's time to use the polishing motor to do the final stages of polish. Happy with how that's come out. Hopefully Paul will be too.
This ring started life 9,000 miles away and made its way to the repair shop via 4 generations of the Weeks family. Now in readiness for their wedding, Paul and Angela have returned to see if their priceless heirloom can be worn again.
Really pleased to be back today. Looking forward to seeing how Richard's got on with the ring. One of the nice things for myself will be to show my mum in a way that the promise I made to her all those years ago when I broke it that I would repair it. It's only taken 40 years, but finally I've managed to do it. And that will be very special.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi there.
How you doing?
Oh, nice to see you again.
doing, Angela?
Hello.
You all right?
Hi, Richard. Pleased to see you.
Hi, Richard.
Jake,
How you
good
doing?
to see you
You
again.
all right?
Fine,
We're
thank
so
you. And you?
excited.
Really excited.
We're excited too.
Shall we show 'em?
Let's go for it.
Okay.
That is absolutely stunning.
Oh my
How did you manage to do that?
That is absolutely incredible. I knew it'd be good. But that is unbelievable. Shall I try on?
Yes, please.
So this is a big moment, 40 years. Let's try it.
Wow.
So, means a lot.
I can see that. Thank you for bringing it in.
Thank you, Jay.
Wish you both a fantastic wedding and future.
Thank you.
You guys take care.
Bye. That's
Well
amazing.
done, man.
Cheers.
Seeing it for the first time just was overwhelming. Certainly for me, certainly I'm sure would have been for my mum as well. All those years of imagining the ring as it should be and as it could be, and to see it was, yes, very emotional for me.
As yet another accomplished repair is completed, Suzie is just getting started on her assignment. She's managed to secure the crumbling handle of the antique fire bucket with a strengthening leather insert.
Now I've got the handle glued together, the next fun job's going to be stitching it. I've decided I'm going to use a drill. Normally I would use an awl to sew pieces of leather together. Pushing an awl through is going to create stress on the leather, and I really honestly don't feel that this leather can take that. Let's see how it fares with needle and thread. This actually has gone so much better than I was expecting it. I've got some flakes of leather here, but not nearly as much as I thought would happen. So I'm very, very encouraged by this. My next port of call is the rim on this bucket and this significant piece that's come away. What I'm trying not to do is detract from what's going on the inside here. We've got this lovely old pitch, so I don't want to go ahead and cover the whole thing. However, I do need to reinforce the inside of the bucket.
A strip of pigskin leather will provide internal support.
This really needs to be solid in its connection. Even though I've got the backing piece on, I want to make sure that it's absolutely not going to move. Considering how big of a chunk that was that came off, I'm really pleased with how well that's gone together. And we'll just make a start on sewing that. And the more I get in there, the more secure the bucket's going to become. I just have to stitch away. I've got the rim of the bucket very stable, very secure, but what I do want to do is move on to tackling the bucket's saggy bottom. This is a very, very tricky part of the process because the crease where the leather has folded is so fragile. Any pull on it, I could literally just rip it all off.
To keep the bottom from collapsing again, Suzie makes a strengthening insert to fit inside the base.
Marked where it needs to go. So it should fit in quite easily. So now I'm going to start working on each of the individual petals and glue them to the wall. I think I've got about 18 petals to glue into place. The critical area here now, we have found out that there actually should be an S here, so it should spell Shire. I've actually been able to lift that crease up enough to possibly get that S painted back in that position, which I really wasn't sure that I'd be able to do because the fold there was so extreme. Really pleased, really pleased and relieved. Got the worst of it over and done with, and so far it's looking great.
Feeling similarly fired up, Will is nearing the end of his renovation of the souvenir box brought back from Italy. He's rebuilt the box, complete with secret compartment, but the lock is broken and the key has been lost for years. But mechanical expert Steve is always on hand to help.
Hey, Steve.
What you got there?
Is there any way that you can unbust this lock and also make me a key, please?
Oh, my word, this is really well broken.
But I brought it to the right guy, though.
I'll do my best.
Thank you, Steve. Cheers, mate. Now I can start tackling some of this missing paintwork on the top. Parts of this just look like a blue, but there's sort of yellow ochres in there, browns. There's a bit of green as well. So it takes a while to build up the colours to get to that desired effect.
The lock that Will brought over, I've been able to find a key. It was the last one that I found in the box, and it actually works an absolute treat. It's this unit here that's broken. There's a hole in it. What I need to do is just renew that. Right, that should go in there. The lock will actually hold now. Good, I can take that over to Will. There we go.
Amazing. That looks almost brand new, Steve.
Let me know if there's a problem with it.
Will do.
Okay.
Thanks, Steve.
This battered but beautiful box was brought back from war-torn Italy over 70 years ago by Emily's grandad. She's hoping Will's managed to rebuild it so she could present it back to her grandmother.
The jewellery box is so important to me just because it's the one tangible thing we've got from my granddad's time during the war, and having that sort of item in our house just kind of brings back all the lovely memories of him.
Hello.
Hiya, you all right?
How are you doing?
Nice to see you again.
Likewise.
Nice to see you again.
You excited?
Yeah, I cannot wait. I really want.
Let's see. Come on.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Shall we have a look?
Yeah.
I'm excited. Oh my gosh! That's insane. That looks beautiful. It looks like... This is not the same box.
It is the same box.
Gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Can I open it?
Well done. Yeah, sure,
Oh
sure.
my gosh. I can't get over that. Oh my gosh.
So,
No.
I don't know if you know this, but this is a puzzle box.
Oh, I did not know this.
So, well, you wouldn't because it was in pieces, but there are different slides and mechanisms, and there's a
Okay.
key inside. And
Which I don't have.
you say you don't have a key, but there's a little key inside.
What? Oh my gosh, how do I don't want to break it and then end up like...
Just so you don't break it, I'm going to show you that. Here we go. So you slide this front spine that way.
Okay.
That there slides up.
Where'd you get this from?
Steve over there.
That's so cool.
And then
Oh, wow.
You slide the front forwards like that. That slides down.
And then you put this in. That's amazing. So it's an actual working jewellery box now.
He's good, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, you've done all right.
I've done all right.
So, what are you going to do with it now?
It's my nan's birthday in a few weeks.
Is it?
So I'm going to wrap it up and give it to her. And I want to see her surprised, like, face. I want to see her reaction. My granddad was a carpenter as well, and he would be absolutely just amazed by this.
So yours passed?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Passed.
Okay. Right. Thank you, Emily.
Thank you so much.
You take care now.
Thank you.
Okay?
No worries. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
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 I had absolutely no idea it was a puzzle box. I thought it was just a general jewellery box that you just open and close, so that's completely blown my mind. I'm going to forget how to open it, 100%. The box is going to go back to my nan. She's going to be absolutely stoked. She's going to be so amazed. And then we're just going to keep it in the family and tell tales of, you know, my granddad for years to come.
With the 200-year-old fire bucket now structurally sound, attention turns to the chipped and faded lettering on the outside. Art conservator Lucia Scalisi to the rescue.
Hello. Hi, Suze. I got another big favour to ask. This is huge. Leather fire bucket. The problem we see is how much the leather has been affected by that paint and whether we can actually paint over it. I say we, I mean you. You do understand that?
I think the crest might be a bit ambitious, but certainly maybe just strengthen some of the lettering so that it doesn't look brand new, but it's a bit more readable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. You know what you're doing.
Yes, I hope.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
Thanks.
leave it with me. We know that it said Shire Hall because the Essex Fire Museum told us that that was where it's from. Most of that's missing, but the Essex is much clearer. My first approach is just picking out a little bit of the shape of some of the letters. It just takes time to sort of build it up and then take it back and build it up and take it back until you get the right level with everything. But it is readable, so that's quite good. Suzie.
What have you got?
It's be done. It's dry.
Wow. That is amazing. And
Hopefully-
you even got an S in there.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Good.
Yeah. You're impressive. Wow,
So
thank
you go.
you.
When Mary brought the fire bucket to the repair shop, it was in a state of emergency, with fragile leather, missing pieces, and on the brink of collapse. She needed Susie's help to repair it as a surprise for her husband Mark, as it holds sentimental memories of his father. They are here today under the guise of a first meeting to assess the damaged bucket.
He thinks I've posted the bucket, and I was like, they probably can't fix it, but hopefully it's going to be all right, and he's going to be really surprised.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm Mark.
Mark, nice to
Suzie,
meet you.
hi. It means an awful lot to me because I do have very few items of my father. It really is quite sentimental to me. But as it is at the moment, it's not fit to be displayed and touched by anybody. And I'm hoping that the repair shop can work some magic on it.
So let's see what we've got to work on, shall we?
Can I lift it up?
It's yours, you can do whatever you like.
how sturdy it is. It must have taken ages. I just don't own many things at all when he passed away. So just to hold it is it's very nice.
It doesn't even look like it's been broken.
Thank
It doesn't even look like it's been broken. It looks
Well used,
amazing.
but not broken.
Well used. Thank you. What a surprise. And the children kept the secret so well. Thank you. Oh, thank you.
This has been a wonderful pleasure for us to work on, and it's now over to you, Mark. It's yours to take home.
Thank you.
Okay.
Pleasure.
Thank
Bye,
you.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Come on, George. Let's go.
That was so good. Oh, well done.
Oh, you too. That was a really good one.
Well done.
When I saw the bucket for the first time, I was a bit overwhelmed. It was very surprising to see exactly how brilliant they've done with it. It brought back some memories of my dad. I remember my dad handing it to me and saying, look after that for me. And yeah, that moment there, when I just got handed the fire bucket was something special. And just thank you very much.
Welcome.